MJ from Mix 97. We're here at Center Theatre in Trenton for the first ever Quinte Canadian Film Festival, celebrating local and Canadian film festivals. And we're going to be talking to a few people today. This festival runs all weekend long, so check out a film while you're here. All right, let's start off with what movie are you most excited to see this weekend?
Honestly, I'm most excited to see Operation Avalanche. That's one of the reasons why I chose it as the festival opener. I think it's going to be a really fun film, and I think that everyone in our community can enjoy it. I think it's a really interesting idea to sort of rewrite space age history, and it's just the way that it's been done is really an awesome feat of Canadian film.
That seems to be a popular opinion tonight, is this movie is the most excited everyone is to see. Tell us a bit about what the festival is about. What does it mean to you, and what do you want everyone to know about the Quinte Canadian Film Festival?
Right, well, this festival really started out as a grassroots movement here in Trenton. I had the idea to run a film festival here, I think it was just over 4 years ago now, and it was kind of like, hey, let's just do it. So we had an afternoon here at the Center Theatre, 8 films, 5 of them were mine from college. So just to be able to see it grow from 8 short films, really low key. We had about 100 people out that night, that afternoon, that was really great. But to see it grow from something that was really self-pushed, it was like nothing would have happened if I hadn't done anything. Now we have a committee of 7 people. We have over 36 films showing, 3 venues downtown here. We have films represented from across the country. I think it's just, incredible to see how much has grown from the beginning. And not only that, but to see the people that have stepped up to the plate to help out. It went from me planning an afternoon at the theater to a committee of 7 planning a whole, film weekend here. And I just think it's really important for our community as well, because it's part of our heritage. It's who we are as a community. This was the original Hollywood of the North. This is where movies were made back in the early 1900s, when it was first established. So I think it's really special that we can do something like this to celebrate that, and really hopefully re-engage with the film industry once again. That's something I really want to see.
Now, for the average community member that has never heard of this and doesn't know why they should come out and see these films, what would you say to them?
I would say it's really important to support not only Canadian film but our local filmmakers too. This is a lot of hard work going into the work that we're seeing this weekend, and it's really just a way to celebrate it and keep it going. Arts and culture is something really important to us as people, and storytelling is one of those most important ways, I guess, that we can connect and share with each other, share ideas, share different walks of life, different viewpoints. So art and culture is one of the biggest things we need to be sharing and promoting, and there's no better way to do it than to promote our local people that are doing it as well.
And why do you think the local film industry is so important to us here locally?
Well, mostly because of our history with it. It's been 100 years now since this was the original Hollywood of the North. The very first Canadian film studio was established here. And I really think it's something that we do need to pay more attention to and celebrate and re-engage with for the future as well, because there's a lot that our community has to benefit from being a part of that. And I just think it's something really important that's part of our identity as a community. We're not just a military town. This is where films were made, and this is where we can make a significant contribution towards culture, not only in our community but in our country.
Definitely shows how diverse we are. And what has the community reaction been so far from what you've seen for this festival?
There's been a lot of excitement. Everybody wants to see this happen. I don't think I've ever talked to somebody that says, no, we shouldn't do that. So, to be able to see the interest, and then also there's people that are willing to step up to the plate and do something about it. I think that's the most exciting thing for me.
So what movie are you guys most excited to see this weekend?
Our own? No, I don't know.
I couldn't pronounce the name. There's a film about
The Searchers.
Yeah, it's a remake of The Searchers done in the Arctic in an Inuit setting. I couldn't.
The indigenous film I know what you're talking about. It's the one that's kind of like Taken, but in the north?
Yeah. We're John Ford is a famous Western director, and it's a remake of his films. We're big fans of.
One of the greatest Westerns of all time. So we'll see how they do.
All right, and what is your favorite aspect of this whole festival this weekend?
Oh, local exposure for sure. It's a great community for young filmmakers, and there's not a lot of opportunities to show it to the people who are maybe even in your film. So it couldn't be more perfect.
All right, so I guess I can't really ask you what film are you most excited to see, but well, probably your own. Is there another movie that you're excited to see too?
Actually, I'm excited to see Operation Avalanche. I read about it and I didn't get a chance to see it. So when they have a festival like this, is sometimes the only time you get to see one of these films for a few years until it goes public. But yeah, my film would be a short film. It's 12 minutes. It'll be tomorrow morning at 10:30.
And what's it called?
It's part of a historical series that I did for Crammy Township, which is Colborne. And it's on a woman called Miss E.J. Padgington, who lived about 100 years ago. She was the longest serving postmistress in Canada. But what she did was she wrote to soldiers during the Boer War, First World War, and Second World War, and they would write back to her, and the letters they wrote back to her are pretty amazing. People in combat, of course. And she had this quiet history where she didn't think she made a difference, but she made this amazing difference in the whole area, because she used to teach all the young men the Bible study, and she would have to watch them as they grew up and grew off to different worlds. So it's a pretty emotional story and actually a pretty good story.
And how much preparation and research did you have to do to get this together?
Luckily, I'm working with the group. It's the Heritage Group in Colborne, and they have a really good digital archive that's readable, and they have all the letters. So the letters were really good to read. There was over 250 of them, but it was hard to choose 6 or 7 to use. You just can't just read letters the whole day. So I always tell people to go to the digital archives and read the letters. But doing the research is actually the fun part of doing documentary films, because you get to learn about people and you have to find images. There's probably 3 photos of this woman, which I try not to use too many times, but you have to just to show her picture. So she was very elusive to the camera, but there's a lot of things written about her. There's nobody left alive that actually remembers her, but there was a lot written. There's a lot of stories about her.
And talking about the festival as a whole, what is your favorite aspect of this festival?
I like the festivals because it gives the filmmakers like myself. Short films don't make any money. They're always passion projects. So you like to give it to the public, and I put mine online so that it can be seen. But to actually go and see it on the big screen and have other people watch it kind of with you that aren't your family members, they're always going to say something nice. But it's actually fun to see it on the big screen. It's kind of that fulfillment of that creative feeling, like, oh, I made this thing, and wow, people clapped at the end. It was really nice.
Yeah, it's really great to see everyone pushing for the revival of the film industry here locally. How important do you think it is to this community?
Oh my God, I think it's so important. One of the things that we were celebrating over at the Trenton Town Hall 1861 is the 100th anniversary of film in this town. And most people drive by Film Street and think nothing of it. They think, oh, well, maybe a film was shot there. But it happens to be where the studio was. And 100 years ago, this year, they started construction on that studio. And one of the films in this festival is Carry On Sergeant. No, not the British Carry-Ons. This one is a silent film that was shot here in Trenton, and it was shot in 27, and it actually came out in 28. They used all local. There was some artists that were brought in from overseas, but they basically used all local. Like, for instance, the park, down where the cold storage is, was dug up as the trenches of France. People, that came to see the show would say, there I go, that's me. And then there's people that tell stories of their grandfather who played a German in the morning, an Englishman in the afternoon, and a Canadian in the evening. And they would wear all these different costumes and hats to portray World War I.
Is there a big push to get new movies to film here?
Oh, yes, I believe so. Yeah, I mean, let's face it, we've got everything. We've got the water, we've got some hills we call mountains, but they are, perfect settings to do outdoor stuff. And we have some beautiful heritage buildings that, can lend themselves to anything, because we come out of that era where we have actually a lot of Victorian buildings in this town. So we can do anything that.
So what role did you have in putting this all together?
I did a lot of the graphics for all the shows today. So any of the title slates and all that stuff I just today. It's kind of stuff I put together in the animations.
What are you most excited about for this festival this weekend?
Probably today, seeing Operation Avalanche. It looks really funny and really cool. So
we've talked to a lot of the older crowd here that is reminiscing about the history of cinema here in Quinte. But as someone who's a little bit younger, how do you feel the future of this industry is going locally?
So far, it looks like it's very bright. Not only am I into it, but my younger brother's into it as well. And we like to think that there's a lot more opportunity here to get into film than people realize. And it's not always going to be paid work, but if you have the passion to try while you're in this area, I think that's something that did for me. So.
All right, what is the movie that you're most looking forward to seeing this weekend?
Carry On Sergeant with the music in the background is going to be pretty great.
With the live music?
Yes, absolutely.
Have you seen it without the music before?
Operation Avalanche tonight.
That's right, eh?
Actually, I haven't picked a movie yet. I'm hoping to be able to get out. I can't stay tonight, but hopefully tomorrow I can stop by and see it. So I haven't picked one yet.
So just excited for all of them in general, right?
I'm excited for the whole festival. I think it's great that the city has supported this, but when I walk in tonight and I see the enthusiasm of all the volunteers, it's pretty exciting. So I'm hoping that tonight's a good kickoff for it. I think it's a great event.
And speaking of which, why do you think the city decided this was a really important thing to get behind?
I think the city very much is in support of rejuvenating this industry. I mean, it used to be here, it is here now, but it needs to have city support. I think it was received very enthusiastically in the last 2 years, and we were all very happy with supporting it. I mean, it's our job to help industry along, tourism, economic development, and I can't think of a better place than to start a festival like this.
Well, to Al's point, there's a lot of history here, 100 years of film, and now we're just kick-starting it with new energy with this committee and the films here tonight with the 100 years and then the inaugural Quinte Canadian Film Festival. So it's a really opportunity to pursue the growth of culture and film and support all the filmmakers and the people that enjoy coming out to see great film production. So we're thrilled to be here.
And we're hoping we can get the youth involved, because that's really important that for this to grow, we're going to have to get them involved in this. So that's another reason that council decided to support this, because we really want this to grow and be successful, and it's something we can all enjoy. I mean, there's industries, there's factories, but this is a fun thing to be involved in, so I think we could get a lot of people behind it.
All right, and there you have it. Some things to look forward to this weekend at the first ever Quinte Canadian Film Festival, celebrating films locally and nationwide. It's running all weekend long here in Trenton. You can grab tickets now at quintefilmfest.ca.